afternoon and welcome to today's edition of The Buzz. It's your social media program on television, and it's a pleasure to be back on the dial today, Monday the 8th of October 2018. All right, in the course of the weekend, which was a very eventful weekend, I celebrated my 11th wedding anniversary. Yay! I just had to throw that one in. It's not easy to be married for like 12 years. It's been 12 years, guys. It's been a long journey. Yes. Yes, I said long. It's really long. Anyways, welcome to the show.
Yes,
on the table, we analyze social issues, national issues, and every other thing as is being discussed on social media. And I have a full house today. I'm really excited to have come back on the program. I don't know what title to add now, but I know him as a filmmaker, and he's also a politician, and he's just won a ticket.
Yeah.
Maybe he will say that by himself. Mr. Alex Enyengo, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, so you won.
Yeah, I'm now the candidate of the All Progressive Congress for the Warri Federal Constituency in Delta State. Running for the Warri Federal Constituency seat in the House of Representatives. So
interesting.
I won the primary election, which was through indirect election, delegate election. It's tough, 3 of us, but I emerged at the end of the day.
Wow, I think that deserves a round of applause. Yeah. Congratulations, Mr. Alex. You know, I'm excited that I know you. You know, okay, so when we get there, just know I know you. Okay. All right, don't pretend you don't know me now. Yes, you are allowed.
So where did people get that figure that you manufactured for the president?
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. They thought it was at the convention. That was the figure he got at the direct primary.
Okay, who did he contest against?
No, the constitution, the
Mr.
law
Sambi,
requires you to still
I will not allow this.
Even if you are
now
unopposed, you must still be confirmed.
Okay.
I mean, it's
like,
an electoral
seriously,
acting.
This is beer apologist. Don't you think?
I think I should be educated.
We'll do that after
You have been educated.
Okay. Anyways, welcome back, Mr. Alex. Yeah. Also joining us this beautiful afternoon, is a pleasure to always have her on the show. Her opinions are always articulate, and she's a woman I respect, I admire. She inspires me a lot. She is a historian, an educationist, a blogger, amongst other things. Mrs. Nelly Agu, good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
Thank you indeed for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Also, one of our revered politicians is in the house as well. He's with the PDP this time around, so we have a balanced table. He's a renowned journalist, a brand analyst, and he's also honorable now, Abi. Mr. Godi the Great of Fose. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Joas. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be back today. I'm very excited to sit close to Nelly. Very good friend on social media.
Yeah.
Actually my first time of meeting her.
Oh, in person.
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Also, unlike my very good friend Alex, I contested on the platform of the PDP.
Yes.
The People's Party.
Yes.
And it was tough.
Very.
And like I told some of my friends, that the experience I've got will never leave me forever.
Okay.
I didn't get it. It was my first time at the partisan politics. I think I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think I made my mark in my local government. They will forever
remember
me
a Godi of Fose
with me. I think the next time I will get it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to say that I will not decamp. I will not defect. I stay with PDP.
Okay.
I will work with the candidate.
Okay.
Because he emerged through a very transparent process.
Well said. You know, Mr. Godi of Fose, I mean, you have earned more of my respect. This is how politicians should be. Yeah. You go to the polls, even if you don't get it, you know, come back with a positive attitude and be ready to go again. Yeah. It's not a do or die affair, you know. Congratulations, Mr. Godi. In my opinion, you won, you know.
You're a winner.
All right, yeah, you're a winner. All right, we also have this afternoon. You're looking very different, you know. I almost forgot your name. All right, he's a public relations expert, he's a businessman, and he's also a social commentator, Mr. Peter Osangbi. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you for coming on the program today.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, welcome everybody. Remember the number to use is 0802-836-8971, and we're starting right away. All right, we're starting with the World Teachers Day, Friday the 5th of October. was actually World Teachers Day, and is celebrated annually on the 5th of October, and it is aimed at appreciating the efforts of teachers worldwide and deliberating on their challenges. Well, the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, has called on government at all levels to give priority to training and welfare of teachers to enable the advancement of the education sector. All right, we have a clip on the plight of Nigerian teachers. Let's take that quickly. When we come back, we'll start our discussion. Join us again.
The plight of Nigerian teachers. A call to action. Education used to be a much revered enterprise. Schools used to be hallowed grounds and ivory towers. Teachers, on their part, used to be very well respected among all professionals. In the 1950s and 60s, government schools were fairly well funded, and there was competition between government-owned schools and those owned by private agencies, especially the missions.
In the 50s, the Western Nigeria we were at the forefront of primary school education. It was free and compulsory education. It was a criminal offense to have a child not in school during school hours. Today, the mission is free education, but not compulsory education.
There's 1 billion children in the world currently, in the developing world, that don't have an effective education system.
Many of our present leaders were fortunate to have gone through primary and secondary school at the time they did. The economy of the country was fairly stable. Education was considered a viable venture worth investing upon, and the enrollment population of the existing schools was manageable. This was before the revolution of the early 1970s, which introduced a tragic dimension to the story of education in Nigeria.
The teacher factor is quite key. It's quite key, very key, because one, even if he or she has spent 3 years at the NCE level, which is the basic qualification to teach in a Nigerian school, but we know that in many of our schools, that basic qualification is not even there. And the people that are supposed to do the monitoring and inspecting the schools to ensure that that is done are not doing that. So even if the person has spent 3 years or spent 4 years and has been teaching, how regularly do they have upskill? When was the last time a proper training for a teacher in the school setting? Most teachers, the real training they have is the one they gained when they were in school. That is all.
The quality of life and work in our public schools and colleges and the very environment in which teaching and learning take place have become a thing of shame and a source of embarrassment to many of us who have an idea of what educational institutions should look like. Indeed, too many things have happened within the last 30 years to the structure, the management, the administration, the supervision, and the financing of schools, colleges, and universities in Nigeria, culminating in a serious dislocation of our educational system, whose symptoms are the much decried fall in academic standards, widespread indiscipline, examination malpractice, frequent riots, and violent court activities. An even greater dislocation has occurred in the psyche of the contemporary Nigerian teacher, whose morale is now very low. We have so destroyed the school system and the teaching profession that the remnant of Nigerian teachers are largely a bunch of disgruntled, disillusioned, frustrated and depressed professionals, lacking any motivation or encouragement. Their output in terms of teaching, research and publication is understandably low.
up this morning.
Nothing wakes me up better than a cup of cowbell coffee. Delicious coffee aroma.
How can you forget your lines again?
I'm sorry, sir, just that it tastes really good.
Cowbell coffee.
Enjoy the delicious creamy coffee taste of 3-in-1 Cowbell coffee. Wixie.
Now 30 naira only for a 20-gram sachet.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching The Buzz, the social media program on television, and we're still talking about the World Teachers' Day, which was on Friday, and this year's theme is the right to education. And of course, the right to education means the right to qualified teachers who can deliver the right kind of education. Now, this theme sort of like brought to my mind, sort of refreshed my memory on what happened some years ago when Adams Oshiomhole was the then executive governor of Edo State. We all know what played out, you know, during the verification, if that's the right word, or screening of teachers. Just in case we are forgotten, I have a clip you know, coming from that verification exercise conducted by the then executive governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole. Let's see that quickly before we come back and talk.
What is this?
57.
What is this?
67. I don't know how it came from. All my documents.
You submitted this.
So who, if you don't know, who will know?
Hmm?
If you don't know, who will know?
So all my documents.
No, it's simple. This is the original.
Yes, the agreement.
And it reads, no, start from here.
Yeah.
No, start from here.
Location of
No, maybe from here. Read it out.
Okay. In the court of appeal, in the death Benin divisions.
Benin what?
Judicial division.
Benin Judicial Division.
Judicial division. Holds at holdings at Benin.
Now you are going to talk to me as a teacher. Start again.
As a Benin.
No. Start again.
In the court of appeal, in the Benin Judicial division. Holding at.
In the what? In the Benin. Who has public address? I can't hear.
Division. According to holding at
this word.
Judiciary.
No, you are my teacher, so teach me how to pronounce this.
Judiciary as division. Holding at Benin City.
What is judiciary? Judiciary.
Is there thought now? Is there even welcome?
Okay, what is this?
Declaration of age. Declaration of age.
Say the what?
Declaration of age. Declaration of age. Declaration of age.
Should that be your teacher? You should be my teacher. You are my teacher. It's funny.
Declaration of age.
Okay, read everything there.
Okay. Mrs. Josephine.
No.
The number one. Mrs. Josephine.
No. Start from the beginning.
This one.
All right, welcome back. 0802-836-8971 is still the number to use. All right, let's start with you, Mr. Alex. Let's talk about teachers. The plights they're faced with, because they also are Nigerians, in all of the difficulties, all the challenges every other Nigerian goes through, what they have to endure to be able to perform and all of that.
Well, for me, as someone who at different stage, passed through teachers, I can relate with and to what they are passing through. And like you rightly said, they are Nigerians too, and they are not excluded from the happenings, in the Nigerian system. For me, I think teachers are not well catered for. They are not well motivated. Though it's a general thing, but talking specifically of teachers, either from primary to secondary and to tertiary institutions, I don't think they are not being given the proper attention.
Okay.
Perhaps because of this warped saying, which has become a cliche, that teachers' reward is in heaven. That seems to even be weighing them down because they believe they are just serving, but they are working. Every laborer deserves, his or her, wages and appropriate wages. I don't think in terms of welfare, in terms of their salary structure, in terms of the way they are even being looked at in the society. Even most people who pass through teachers, where they now grow and they are now working, become politicians, presidents. I wonder why we don't look back and try to, change the system to favor teachers. Because if they are not properly motivated, I wonder how really they can motivate, the students. That's why you have today teachers, they do so many other things, particularly in public school. Private school may be a little better, not that it's better. It depends on the level of the private school, because some private school, I would say, are worse than public school. Because I know a lot of private school, secondary school, where secondary school leavers are teaching. You understand? So for me, it's a holistic thing. We have to look at it holistically.
Okay.
But my submission is that presently, teachers are not being
the welfare package. Okay.
Care of.
All right. Taking it from that standpoint, Mrs. Ago, how can a teacher whose remunerations, is nothing to write home about, deliver the kind of quality education that we're looking for?
Thank you very much. Before I could delve into this thing, we know there is a body that is to look after teachers, which is the Nigerian Union of Teachers. And Nigerian Union of Teachers have come a long way. It has been on since 1931, if you don't know. We have before the Lagos Union of Teachers, and we also have the Association of Headmasters in Ijebu-Ode. These two met in 1931 in Lagos, to be precise. I think June 9th or 8th of 1931. And they formed an amalgamation, whereby they now decided to have NUT. NUT have aims and objectives. The question is, before you talk of how teachers are being treated, the body that to look after these teachers, how fair are they sticking to their aims and objectives? The first thing they were to do is to harness harmony, togetherness among the teachers, and their interaction to the public, and how people see the teachers, check their welfare, insurance-wise, and other things. If the NUT is failing in their duties, then that is where the teachers' plight comes in, because the main body that looks after them is falling short of what their aims and objectives are. Okay. And that is why I will say, I haven't gone through NCE. I went through NCE for 3 years, and I went direct to university and studied again under education. I know what is required of a teacher. We go through a lot of rigors to teach. I did teaching practice in many schools. Teachers don't sleep. You do your lesson plan, scheme of work, you read, you have to be ahead of your students. And after all said and done, you are being given peanuts. And salary. They don't even have accommodation. I think by now Nigeria should have had housing system for teachers. I think by now Nigeria should have had banks, commercial banks that give them soft loans to be able to have cars. It still baffles me that at this century, our teachers still go to school with public transport. There was a time the system was a bit better, I think some years back. Teachers were said, oh, principal can now have cars. You come to school, you see nice cars, big park. They say, oh, teachers are being...
Yes.
You know? But
okay, you know, you are bringing up a lot of salient issues, but just hold the thoughts there. We need to go on a quick commercial break. All right, we're still on the program, The Buzz, and we're still discussing the World Teachers' Day. Let's take this quick commercial timeout. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Oh, thank you. But what assurance can you give our daughter?
Everything. With the new look Ariel, I can even do the laundry.
Prove it then.
Okay. Let's make this stain even tougher. Now, let's wash the cloth. With your detergent and with new look Ariel. Do you believe me now?
Ariel, now in a new look pack.
I woke up this morning.
Nothing wakes me up better than a cup of cowbell coffee. Delicious coffee aroma.
How can you forget your lines again?
I'm sorry, sir, just that it tastes really good.
Cowbell coffee.
Enjoy the delicious creamy coffee taste of 3-in-1 cowbell coffee. Waiting.
Now 30 naira only for a 20-gram sachet.
The Guild of Professional Bloggers of Nigeria invites you to its inaugural lecture. Theme: Combating Fake News in the Cyberspace. Date: Saturday, 13th October 2018. Venue: Radisson Blue Hotel, 22 Isaac Jones Street, GRA, Ikeja, Lagos. Time: 11 a.m. Guest speaker: Barrister Festus Kayamo, SAN. Special guest of honor: Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information and National Orientation. Keynote address by Mr. Kola Olobodinyo. Keynote speaker: Mr. Kufre Ekanem, Public Affairs Advisor, Nigerian Bureaus PLC.
Event chairperson: Professor Abigail Ogwezi Ndesika, Head of Department, Mass Communication, University of Lagos.
Announcers: Chris Kende-Wandu, CKN President, Femi Adeoya, Secretary, Florence Ohungbo, Social Secretary.
Welcome back to the program. Okay, Mrs. Agu, you were on before we took that break.
I will round it off by telling you that the teacher's plight should not be seen as just a thing that has just started newly. If the body, like I said, fell short in taking care of them. As a teacher by profession, even though I never taught, but I went into school doing teaching aids, doing seminars for schools. There are things I contributed to. Indomie were helpful. We did a lot of things, packaging things, both for teachers and students. But the problem we have today is like teachers. Why are teachers suffering? They are suffering because there is nobody speaking out for them. Why are they going through this menace? They are going through this menace because, for instance, I know some teachers in the East. They hardly have time to even write their lesson notes because they are getting other things to do to get money. They tie milk and sugar and put them in freezer overnight. In the daytime, they bring them to school. When they are supposed to be teaching, they send their children, even in that school, to be selling those milk they tie.
To make ends meet.
That is how bad it is in the teaching profession. And I will say where people have a little, reprieve in teaching profession is maybe when you are in the level of university level and so on, where you can write, books, you can write things, there are things you can do, that will generate fund for you in the level you are. But the junior teachers in the secondary school, primary school level, they find it difficult to go because there's nobody to buy the paper they will write. They are not doing research. There's nothing they are doing to give them money. But in the university, a professor could go on doing so many researches, linking up with international bodies. How are we linking the teachers in Nigeria with international, wherewithal, what is obtained internationally? Nigerian teachers have always remained with the same curriculum. There's no improvement in their way of life. There's no kind of incentive. They don't travel abroad. They don't know what. I was telling my husband yesterday that there was a country, please get it right for me, where teachers were saying, our salary is too much. Can you reduce that? My husband said nobody can do that. Have you not heard of it?
I've heard about doctors in Canada, who are saying they are paid
maybe
too much.
That they should remove their money. Maybe it's doctors that was Canada for teachers. But I can tell you, The system is bad in Nigeria because there's nobody speaking out for teachers. I'm sorry to say, the man that should be there, this Michael, what is his name again? The president of NUT, I think it's Michael somebody, Adekoya or whatever.
Adekoya.
Is it Adekoya?
Yes.
He's not doing much. He's not doing much. They only go deliver paper, talk on paper. After talking on paper, they go. They don't really know. They don't take the breath of the teachers and know what is going on in their mind.
All right. Well said, ma'am. All right. An American journalist and author, Thomas Friedman, said, and I quote, "The yardstick for the measurement of a country's performance is in the 21st century is not in its oil reserve or gold mine, but the number of its effective teachers, committed parents, and serious students," which shows that it is a total package kind of thing. But at this year's celebration, the President Muhammadu Buhari said we need 250,000 more teachers. Now, delivering quality education, is it in the number of teachers that we engage or in what is being given out?
You're asking me.
I'm asking you, Mr. Ofose.
Thank you. I think because two of us have not spoken, so I thought you could refer to him. Thank you very much, Patient. I think coming from Mr. President's statement, I don't think Mr. President usually always matches word with actions. If Mr. President says we need over 200,000 teachers and is giving in his budget this year, it's 102.9 billion naira, I am asking myself, in a country like Nigeria, transport is getting more, housing is getting more, power is getting more, and we need people from education to build all of these things. You see, we are just joking as a nation. Pardon me. I'm a son of a teacher. I want to let Mr. President know that we don't need 250 teachers. We need 200 and so on qualified teachers.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, let me share my experience first for you to know.
Quickly.
I think we need to do to education what we have done to politics in Nigeria. First and foremost, my father shared an experience with me before he passed that in their time to serve as a councillor, they used to go and beg people who are successful, who could do with their jobs and also do social service to come and serve. Now fast forward, patience. In my place, you kill to become a councillor. Because you know, by being a councillor, you are going to build a house. You are going to not build a house, build houses. You are going to drive cars. You are going to actually add to your numbers of wives. All right? You are going to, perhaps you may not be poor forever as a councillor.
All right.
Now, come back to teacher. My father graduated from University of Nigeria in Nsukka. And had the opportunity, as he graduated with geography. First class, I have to emphasize. You see, when he came out, he had the opportunity to work with Mobu. Because Mobu was in my place, just came to Iket, where it's close to my own village. And because you know that the majority of oil that is from Akwa Ibom today come from local government. It sits where, for a Fiat community, local government. Do you know what happened? The Mobu didn't give my father anything. Salary was good. But federal government gave my father a better salary and a brand new Volkswagen. And my father took to teaching. It will interest you to know that he rose to become the NUT chairman in Cross River State then, not Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. As at then, it was Cross River State. That's how my father loved teaching. Now, fast forward, how many first class graduates in Nigeria who want to go to teaching? In our public secondary school.
I could answer that question for you, but our time is fast running.
So all of these things that we're talking about, by the time the government wants to improve on the quality of education in this country, they know what to do. What to do is very obvious.
I get what you mean.
It's only that we are playing lip service with everything that we want to do in this country.
Okay.
Like my sister said, we love to deliver papers, we love to earn with papers, and we don't act on the papers.
All right, let's move to you, Mr. Osango, quickly. Your thoughts?
Nothing much to say other than to appreciate the historical perspective from which sister came from, as a way of saying this is the problem that we have. I will only just add that sadly there's so much emphasis on focus on remuneration. I think we must move from there to capacity building. What are the benefits of being a teacher? It's not just what comes to the pocket. The intellectual value, is added. But now the capacity building, what is NUT doing? What is government doing? But the NUT can actually do more, not just government now, because you can motivate your members to actually engage themselves in capacity building.
Sure.
What are the exchange training programs that these people have? She was talking about, international.
How they can,
So
connect.
what are the training exchange programs that you have? That is one. Then two, the industry, the teaching profession is bastardized. It's full of quacks. It's full of people who are not qualified to teach.
Because no job.
Yeah, because no job. So they must not prune it, they must not trim it, they must not ensure that does not exist. How can they do that? When I was in England, after my postgraduate, I did a course to earn myself the qualified teacher status for you to be able to teach in England. If you don't have it, you don't have your teacher's number, sorry, come with all your degrees, you cannot teach. But here it is during this period that you are taught the rudiments
of the teaching profession.
And all that. So the NUT must see how they can. If you ask most teachers in Nigeria, none of them has any teacher's number, nothing to identify them. So you cannot actually say these are quack or these are.
Okay, all right. I think well said, but we don't have so much time to dwell on this topic. Let's just quickly read one feedback, a very long one, and then we'll move on to the next topic. This one is coming from Bamitale Olufadeju, and he went on to say, to whom much is given, much is required. Government should employ competent teachers so as to standardize things.